Welcome to Forked Up, your go-to podcast for all things yams, gams, and little lambs. I'm Michelle Davis.
And I'm Matt Holloway. Today we're talking hot dog half-life, Nabisco is up to no good, and why milk is having a moment as well as a challenge.
So stay tuned, y'all. It's about to get forked up.
What the fuck is going on, everybody? Another episode of Forked Up. Michelle.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I see you got another one of your cool shirts for your...
I know. I feel... So, some people have been... I'm glad that people watch it on YouTube. A few people have commented on what we're wearing.
Yeah.
You're getting all the compliments in your dresses, by the way.
Well, guys.
You got a new dress on today. Let's talk about it.
Sparkly again.
Yeah.
So I've decided...
Is that the same as the other dress, just in a different color?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm a boy. Like, if we see something that we like, we just buy 3 of them.
Yeah, I also do that, but I did not do it with this. But as you know, I'm scared of the Delta.
Yeah.
And so I don't go anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere in like a year and a half.
Delta Airlines, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Fuck them. They know what they did. So I'm not going anywhere. I don't do anything, but I have a closet full of cute little dresses that I love to buy and I love to wear. You need an occasion.
Yeah, you got to wear it.
Guys, I'm going to wear them here. I got nowhere to go. It's like I need to justify the closet space they're taking. And so this is my biggest social event of the week. So here we are.
You look great.
Thanks. Yeah. And especially because you see me rolling pretty musty into the office.
Well,
sometimes.
I mean, we have like a labor-intensive job, and it gets fucking hot in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. I'm always sweating and stuff. So, like, why am I going to put on fucking makeup?
This is the most that y'all ever see us get dolled up. I mean, maybe I'll wear a collared shirt one day. I've worn collared shirts.
You actually, he got so mad last week when he repeated a shirt.
I didn't know that because I have like 4 shirts that I wear all the time, and I usually change before the podcast because I don't want to wear the same shirt over and over again.
Yeah, but it's not that you only have 4 shirts. It's just that you go through phases with your clothing where you wear the 4 shirts all the time, but you have an extensive closet.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but guys, he was like, oh no!
Anyways, if any clothing companies want to fucking send me some free threads, I will gladly take that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what's up with you, Michelle? What's going on?
Just been chilling, living my life, cooking lots of things. We got some stuff on the menu this week for y'all. We have a couple throwbacks. We have our late summer tomato and nectarine pasta, which sounds like it makes no sense until you remember that nectarines are a fruit, as are tomatoes. So it's sort of like a pomodoro where, you toss the hot noodles in with the cold cut up vegetables and fruits, and it just kind of cooks them with the heat of the noodles. And so you have the cut up tomatoes and you have the cut up nectarines, and then you fold in a bunch of fresh basil. I think there's a little white balsamic, or you can use regular balsamic. It is delicious. It is surprising, and it is perfect for right now where tomatoes and nectarines are both perfectly in season.
Hence the name Late Summer.
It's right now, guys.
Because we are in late. When does summer? I'm such an idiot. I'm in my mid-30s. I don't know when the season's beginning. When is summer officially over? Is it Labor Day?
Yeah, Labor Day is traditionally the end of the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. We haven't had the autumnal equinox, so that's
the fuck is that?
The
fuck is that?
It's
Does that have something to do with like
the vernal
quartz stones and
and moon water?
Yeah.
No, it's the different phases.
Autumnal equinox?
Yeah, autumnal. There's the vernal equinox. Like it's just where the seasons.
Why would you just use normal words?
Autumn. It's almost autumn, y'all. Yeah. Speaking of not knowing things, you said one of my favorite things maybe I've ever heard you say.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
So last week I was reading him an article about Larry David yelling at someone from the Trump administration on Martha's Vineyard. And
is it Alan Dershowitz? Yeah.
Hilarious.
Love Larry David.
Loved the story. I did ring up Larry David's groceries one time, and guys, he lives up to the hype.
Really? What was that like? Was he like, was it very much?
I mean, he was in the outfit, you know, that he wears all the time, his regular clothes. And then he started asking me a bunch of questions about fish. And I was like, sorry, dude, I'm vegan. And he was like, oh, God.
Oh, really?
And he did, but like very lovably, like, you know, just mild.
What was he doing? Was he doing like a bit on you?
Yeah, he was like doing the thing. I don't know if it's a bit or if it's
vegan?
Yeah.
What? No seafood? What do you mean? What do you eat?
Yeah,
like a whole.
And like I was blushing. Like he's so charismatic in person. I was just like, oh my God.
Like, oh my God, are you doing a bit right now?
Oh my
like...
God. Do you like want to go eat fish? I'll watch you. But anyway, he was lovely. So I'm reading you that story. And as you're walking out of the room, you have just this throwaway comment that delighted me to no end.
I can't. I don't remember this at all. So
y'all, I'm from the West Coast. Matt's from Texas, and then here, and he goes, you know, for most of my adult life, I thought Martha's Vineyard was like Martha Stewart's house, and then you just walked out of the room.
Okay. I said, hold up. I said, for most of my adult life, I thought Martha's Vineyard was owned by Martha Stewart.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm not alone in that.
Honestly,
I feel like there's other people who didn't know that for most of their life, and when you find out about it, you don't talk to anybody about it because you sound like a fucking maniac.
Well, I mean, who else? Who's Martha, if not Martha Stewart?
I don't know. That's the thing. Is that growing up in Texas, Martha's Vineyard has always had this sort of like aristocracy, like this like
it's old money.
Wealthy, like, you know what I mean?
Which is exactly what it is.
So like that was so foreign to me, and the only Martha that I knew who also very much like a Venn diagram overlapped was Martha Stewart, because she's got the money to buy an island.
She's like in Connecticut and all of those things.
So like it wasn't out of the realm of possible. She's East Coast, you know. It was so I don't know.
Honestly, it made a certain side of like a certain kind of sense. And it delighted me. Now I'm just always going to think, like, guys, come over to my vineyard. Come on over. Come on. It's a good thing.
Listen,
it's a good thing.
There's at least one person watching this who just realized that Martha Stewart does not own Martha's Vineyard. And that's okay. I'm with you on that. And you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell anybody. It's okay. It's our secret. It's fine. But you learned something today, and that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain. We're here to educate, commiserate. I got so many.
Made me happy.
I'm like my grandma Mary in that sense. I'm unintentionally funny, that I'm not trying to be funny. I just say shit and the fucking room erupts with like my stupidity.
Yeah, but I also think Grandma Mary's pretty funny.
She's fucking hilarious. She's the funniest person in my family.
Nice. Can we book her?
Yeah, we'll have to bring her out here. I mean, she's deaf, so we'll have to figure out some.
Yeah, she's not a big pod fan. I mean, we've talked about Grandma Mary on the pod before.
She's part of the extended universe.
But I've told the story before, probably, but I'm going to tell it again because it is my favorite Grandma Mary story. So I was reading some news article about us when our first book came out. Okay. And it had a Facebook comment section.
Yep.
And first comment is from Grandma Mary. I stumbled across this. It was just Grandma Mary in the wild on the internet. And she's just like, oh, I'm so proud of Matthew. Like, he's grown up into such a grandma comment on this article that like, this like whatever article. And then like 25 minutes later, she comes back and comments under her own comment and goes, I love all my grandchildren equally.
And let me tell y'all, the real kicker behind this story is that when my grandmother wrote that, she lived out on a farm in Texas by herself. She's a fucking badass.
Yes.
But she had a computer that we put in her double wide that she would turn it off all the time. You know how like we all just leave our devices on all the time? She would turn it off whenever she wasn't using it. So
like power
all the way off. Okay. Monitor, like everything.
Basically, plug and unplug it.
Yeah, for like old school. Like, so Grandma Mary 100% wrote that comment on Facebook and was like, that's enough internet for the day. Turned it off, like turned the monitor. Yeah, everything powered down. She made herself a cup of coffee, black, just the way she loves it. And
y'all, she started drinking coffee not because she liked it, because it was the only thing the kids didn't want.
Yeah.
And so she's like, this is mine. Fuck those kids.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So she goes, I guarantee you, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but she guarantee you, she powers it down, goes to make a cup of black coffee, and she sits there for probably about 15, 20 minutes and is like, the rest of the family is going to see that comment. Powers her computer back up.
She's like, I got to get ahead of this storm.
She's like, I love all my grandchildren the same. You know,
this article just happens to be about Matthew, but if it was about anybody else, I would also be so proud.
Yeah.
End of message. Power down.
Yeah. Grandma Mary, she's part of the extended universe.
Love her so much. What have you been up to?
Well, I was going to say the other recipe I wanted to plug this week, which I just made the other day, which is such a fucking heater, is our strawberry rosé pancakes. Perfect if you're doing brunch at home. I mean, obviously, cases are going up. I don't want to fucking go out and dine in public. I know a lot of y'all have the same sentiment. So if you want to bring brunch to you, then make this strawberry rosé pancakes. They are straight fucking fire. Yeah, everyone who's made them raves about them.
And the rosé is in the pancake batter.
It's in the batter.
Yeah, and it's fucking delicious. But also, it's the perfect breakfast for dinner meal.
Oh, okay.
Because then you're drinking rosé, you're having pancakes. It's like, it's fun. It's out of what you usually do. And you can, if you're drinking at home, you can drink so much more if that's what you're into. No shade.
If y'all want to drink pancakes, try our strawberry rosé pancakes.
And it's honestly one of my favorite photos we've ever taken for the website.
I'm not
Look
recalling.
how beautiful it is.
I'm not recalling. Caitlin will put the photo here lovely behind us, but I don't recall it off the top of my head. I'm sure
like,
it's
no, all my work's so beautiful. I know.
If I shot it, it's amazing. So if it sucks, I didn't shoot it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I made that the other day. It's a fucking heater. Y'all should check it out. Badmanners.com. Go get those recipes.
Yeah. Can I talk about an article that I saw on Grub Street? Yeah, it was Grub Street.
Okay. Yeah.
That pissed me off.
It's not
not just as a vegan,
right?
But like as a former hot girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am a stately woman.
You're being hard on yourself. What are you talking about?
I'm not a girl.
Yeah. Saying girl and like boy is like you kind of infantilize. See, why are you using big words? Just say normal words.
Yeah. You're making me sound like a baby.
Yeah.
I'm a grown-ass lady.
So what is the threshold where you go from like girl to woman to MILF?
Well, MILF, I mean, is being a mother a requisite for being a MILF?
No, not at all. Okay. If porn has taught us anything, you can be a MILF. It doesn't, like, you don't have to have kids.
Yeah, so I would say girl under 18.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Woman above 18, stately woman above 30.
Okay.
If you could run for president, you are a stately woman. But this article was saying hot girls are ditching the alternatives and going back to basics. Whole milk mounts a triumphant comeback. First of all, no hot girl is drinking whole milk. I guarantee that right now.
I'm friends with many hot women. They are not drinking whole milk. I promise you that.
Whole milk?
Yeah.
No hot girls ever. That's like, you're telling me they're drinking butter? Nobody's.
The hot bros are, because that's like it's like a protein shake thing.
Yeah, but whole milk?
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
No, and they're just
what's his based off? Like,
this person's.
See, it's based off a fucking tweet.
Yeah, exactly.
This is journalism now.
Yeah, it's
one person tweets one thing. It's an article.
Yeah, and they're like, and the person who wrote the article is like, when I was over Europe, like, there weren't so many alternative milks. And she's spelling it crazy with a Y. Milks. And she's like, yeah, when I was on the beach in Greece, nobody was thinking about these alternatives and da-da-da-da. First of all, biatch. Okay? Having available cow's milk as like, to drink for most people is a relatively new phenomena because refrigeration is a relatively new phenomena. People don't drink milk historically. They just don't. The most popular milk all over Europe until refrigeration was fucking almond milk.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was every cookbook from the Middle Ages, it's fucking almond milk. Huh. Because it didn't spoil so fucking fast.
Learn something new every day.
Bullshit. And they're just like, are these milks any good? These are past to dietary nirvana. And it's like, nah, first of all, some of us, the only person who should be drinking cow's milk And baby cows.
It is weird that we, as a species, have just decided that we're like, yeah, that I'm gonna suck those animals' titties. Like
Yeah.
that.
Look,
It's
like, okay,
fucking
so
bizarre.
this article that the tweet that this whole article is based off of, it only has 11 comments and less than 500 likes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I could write if that was the criteria?
You had a fucking fire tweet right before the recording this episode that's doing better numbers than that.
Yeah.
So no one's writing an article about that.
But it made me first of all, I mean, this had to be paid for by Big Milk. And also the milk industry doesn't need your fucking help. Like, you know what I mean? This is crazy to me.
Anytime that there's an article where they're like, beef is making a comeback or milk's making a comeback, like this article is saying, I 100% believe that it is some alternative motive for why this is being written. Because, again, where is this? On the East Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot bitches in LA not drinking whole milk. I'll tell you that right now. So I don't know on what authority this person is fucking declaring milk is back, but the science and the data would say otherwise.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna go into our secret text chain of hot stately women and be like,
do a poll.
Yeah,
do it. We should run a public poll like on our platforms. If there's a lot of hot bitches who follow us. All y'all hot bitches. I say that lovingly.
Yeah, and bitches, honestly, like it could be gender neutral.
I call my guy friends bitches all the time, but we say like, "What's up, bitch?" Like it's lovingly.
It's a term of love, and hot
context
people
is key.
Hot people are not drinking whole milk.
Fuck no.
Wait, are you gonna fart and have all the sex you're having because you're so hot? Like you're not.
Yeah.
You're not importing.
You're
farts.
You're drinking whole milk and you're getting that
whole milk and Brussels sprouts. That's what hot people are doing. I don't know.
That bubble gut.
Yeah. You know, you're just building all that mucus anyway. Milk is just all over the fucking news right now.
Yeah. Speaking of milk, did you see the milk crate challenge? I'm sure you have by now. It's been like around the internet for the last 48 hours.
You would think we had universal health care, y'all.
Yeah, dude, the way people are falling off those milk crate pyramids, like now's not a good time to be going to the hospital.
You have healthcare and dental?
I saw
Where are y'all working?
A video. It was like the third milk crate challenge where a woman did it and she broke her fucking arm.
Did you see it, right?
And there's
No, that's why I don't click that shit.
Yeah, and then there's like kids who like run up when someone's up at the top and they just kick the middle of it. Some little kid shit. Yeah.
It's like the bottle kids from Trailer Park Boys.
But yeah, I'm just amazed that people have that many milk crates. Like I think like here at our office,
we have
I think we have, yeah, but like that's a collective between your milk crates and mine that were combined. So we have
a lot of grocery stores leave them out back.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you could just go grab them.
Yeah. Same with the pallets. I mean, I don't know how you lived your life, but I've stolen a lot of things from the back of a grocery store.
I have. Yeah. What was it that we were doing? Oh, I know what it was. I can't legally talk about it, but that we went to. I was like, we need a pallet for this. For the thing. We can't that's not. It's legal in California. It's not legal everywhere else. I had to go to get a pallet, and we got it behind the grocery store right here down the street.
Yeah, the Ralph's.
Yeah, and there was a couple guys unloading a truck, and I was just like,
deuces.
I was like, hey, y'all need that pallet? And they just looked at me like I was insane. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this.
I just love how I think because grocery stores are such a part of the community that there's a certain amount of ownership. So you're like, this cart, it's mine now.
Yeah.
This pallet. This pile of milk crates, also mine.
This is the community milk crates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they belong in the community. When y'all aren't using the milk crates, they go in the park so everybody can stack them and climb on them and hurt themselves.
It's scary. Have you seen someone successfully do it?
There was a video of like some like gym bros who were doing it, but they were doing it like in a CrossFit gym, which I think is bullshit because
it's padded.
It's padded and it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
No, take that shit to a public park where you got this going on in the grass.
And then what happens if the sprinklers pop on?
Yeah, see, you're doing that in a controlled environment.
I want an open like Coke bottle nearby too, so the wasps start coming and like
put a potato salad up at the top, so So when you get to the top, you have to fight the wasps
Yeah.
just to get down the other side.
And just like a loose Mylar balloon hits you in the face.
Yeah.
When you make it a public park.
Yeah.
After you fall off one of those milk crate towers, like everything has to hurt.
Which, by the way, I know that like the ads for milk are like, they help your bones. No, they don't. There's a lot of science that says, in fact, not only do they not help your bones, they do the opposite.
Yeah, because the calcium isn't it actually can cause
Osteoporosis, brittle bones.
brittle bones.
So you East Coast self-declared hot bitches who can't afford to live out here on the West Coast and can't afford to pay another $1.25 for oat milk. But yeah, climb those milk crates, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna break your arm, you're gonna hurt your back. And if you do hurt your back. This episode is sponsored by All 33. What are y'all sitting on? Do you have one of those cheap office chairs that you got when you realize you're going to be working from home a lot more? Or maybe you have one of those overpriced, what are they called? I don't want to call them out by name. They're like the therapist chairs, but they have like the foot. I think they're Herman Miller's. I think that's it. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. But I guarantee you, whatever it is, you are not getting the proper back support that you need, which is why we partnered with All 33 to give you guys a great deal on the last desk chair that you will ever buy.
And we get it. Last year you started working from home, so you just got whatever you could. Maybe it was a stool for the first half of the pandemic, and then you upgraded to a really shitty office chair.
We all had that makeshift office that we had to figure out. And you stack the books where your computer is, so that
you're trying to find that light.
We all did it. Yeah. It's fine.
But now it's time to upgrade. All 33's back-strong chairs use the patented sit-in motion technology that gives you the optimal lumbar support you need while effectively supporting all 33 of your vertebrae for unsurpassed spinal support in your office, in your home, in your gaming, whatever it is.
This is the Anti-Slouch Chair, because if you're like me and you like to lean back, like to slouch, I'm doing it right now. It won't let me.
Yeah, the seat responds ergonomically to your every movement, so you always maintain an ideal posture.
Again, this isn't just another desk chair. This is the last desk chair that you're ever going to need. It's literally designed by a doctor who's been treating back pain and injuries for over 45 years. And maybe a doctor's opinion doesn't mean anything to you.
Do you think that's a problem in America?
Yeah, some of y'all don't believe in doctors. That's okay, because y'all probably believe in celebrities like Tom Hanks, John Cleese, Shaq, Bruce Willis. All of them have all 33 back-strong chairs like we have here in our studio, and they all love their chairs. We love our chairs, and I promise y'all will too.
So we've partnered with All 33 to give you guys $100 off your order. Just go to all33.com, use the code FORKED at checkout.
Again, that's all33.com with promo code FORKED at checkout for $100 off the last desk chair you're ever going to need. This podcast is also brought to you by us. Go get our merch. That's what our lovely mugs that we're sitting here sipping on.
Look how big.
Yeah. And the people listening to this episode, tough shit. Go to YouTube.
You can't tell how refreshed I am.
If you go to badmanners.com, we have
shop up at the top.
A shop button up at the top. You can go there, and that will redirect you to our partners merch method.
Here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, everything's made here in LA. And they're like 20 minutes from our office here.
Yeah, family
Lovely
owned.
people, family owned.
We got sweatshirts, we got t-shirts, we got totes.
These thick mugs.
We got super cool mugs.
Badmanners.com. Go check out the shop. We have t-shirts. I'm not wearing one today, but I do have. I told them to set one aside. I'm going to start wearing the merch on the pod.
Oh, that's cute.
Especially, dude, I love our hoodies. They're so comfortable.
I want a picture of Boz in one of the hoodies.
This is the first time that we've been doing merch for fucking years, and this is the first time that the quality of our t-shirts and our sweatshirts and like these mugs that you and I are posted, these are 20-ounce mugs, 22-ounce mugs. Like everything, like we have hand selected. And
because it's so close, we can be involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we're all refreshed, do you want to get into some food history?
Fuck yeah, I want to get into food history.
It is now time for This Week in Food History.
This some serious gourmet shit.
This week in food history, we are talking about a spice blend. You can find it on cut fruit, buttery popcorn, the rim of all your favorite cocktails all over North America, every major city. We're talking New York, we're talking Houston, we're talking Los Angeles. And it's this mix, this addictive mix of chili powder, dehydrated lime, and salt that's so ubiquitous that it's hard to imagine a time without it. Like when I started looking at the origin story for this, I was like, hold on, what? That's right, guys. We're talking about Tajín.
Oh, okay. I'm stoked on this.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about it. I mean, I keep that stocked in my pantry.
Yeah, we're out here. I went to go get the bottle.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
We use it a lot.
Tajín is one of those products that has become so linked with what it is that even if like you buy an off-brand, you're still going to refer to it as Tajín. It's like Kleenex. It's wild.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
hadn't thought
mean?
about that, yeah.
Like,
Fair point.
yeah, it's everywhere. And while blending chili powders and citrus and salts and all those things, and adding it to fruit, that's not a new idea. That's been around in Mesoamerica forever. It's on the Indian subcontinent. Like many cultures have this. Tajín has taken over the world's pantry.
When I was in Texas just now, they had big bottles of it.
Yeah.
Texans fucking love it. By the way, Tajín, because I've my whole life, just like Martha's Vineyard, been calling it Tajín. So we're here to
Did you not
to
notice
learn.
the Mexican flag colors on the bottle? Because Tajín sounds.
Oh yeah, I guess the J. Yeah, I
it sounds
see.
like Middle Eastern or Moroccan or anyway. So Tajín has taken over this market and it's done it actually super quickly. So it was founded, according to their website, on December 23rd, 1985. Yeah, they know the date. By Horacio Fernandez. And the seasoning was originally based on the sauce that his grandmother made for corn that he was obsessed with as a kid. So he wanted to get those flavors out to as many people as possible, but he realized that a sauce was too cumbersome. So he's like, okay, I got to make it into a powder that people can just shake on stuff, because she would like slather it on corn. And he's like, I want that, but on the go and on everything.
Yeah, if you guys have ever had like traditional elotes, like that's what is that spice that's on there. That's what that is.
Yeah. So after lots of experimentation, he landed on a blend of chiles de arbol, guajillo, and pasilla, sea salt, dehydrated lime. And it all gave it that signature like mild spice and tangy flavor. That's what's so good about it. It looks spicy, but it's just like that right level of heat that you just wanna
It's not
eating.
It's not like unbearably spicy. Like I know people who have very low tolerance for spices and they love Tajín.
Yeah, and this is not an ad. It's just because this spice blend is so connected with the brand, though they can sponsor us.
It can be an ad. Tajín. Hit us up.
So the name of the product comes from a trip that Horacio took to El Tajín, an archaeological site in Veracruz, which was the site of one of the biggest, most important cities in classical Mesoamerica. And he was like, that's it. And that it was there that he learned the Nahuatl word for chili was ají, and that sealed the deal. And for people who don't know, Nahuatl is the...
Is that the native people?
No, it's the language of the Aztec.
Gotcha.
So the spice blend was quickly like a runaway bestseller in Mexico. And it only started becoming available outside of Mexico in 1993. Don't
So,
you
like-
feel like it's been around?
As long as I can remember.
Yeah,
We've always had Tajín.
93.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I grew up with this stuff everywhere. And now you're telling me I was older than I realized when this made it to America. And now it's available in over 30 countries worldwide.
Damn, that didn't take them long at all.
No!
Good for
To
them.
go from like him creating, a spice blend based on the memory of his grandmother's recipe to total domination of this market globally, not just in Mexico, not just in North America, globally, is insane. Because Horacio has always been super focused on uplifting Mexican culture and in the indigenous communities in Mexico, they actually, each bottle of Tajín goes towards supporting the National School of Ceramics, which they helped found, the Tajín company helped found, to focus on indigenous arts.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
I love to hear that shit.
And with
That's
each
so
bottle,
cool.
like the average price of a bottle is less than $3.
Oh, it's super cheap. Yeah.
An empire built on like affordability, deliciousness, like put it on your pineapple, cucumber,
Mango.
watermelon. The watermelon's so good. Like I told you guys last week, it's so good right now. Put some tea, like everything. So not an ad, just a fan. But I thought that was an incredible story of taking a product that you love, you know, putting it out in the market and watching the rest of the world love it
Also
too.
love it, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's your food history for this week.
Tajín was like very ubiquitous with my own childhood, growing up in Texas and like the foods that we ate. And when we would go to the farmer's market, it's nothing like the farmer's markets out here. It was almost like a loading dock. So they had all the trucks.
Oh, like
with,
the fruit market downtown.
Yeah. Very much like that. And yeah, every stall had like Tajín so that what you would do is you would get fresh produce, they'd cut it up for you and then they just dump that on it. So like I just was used to that like from a very young age.
So if you guys have never been to California or some of the warmer states,
Leave your hometown. Get out and see the world.
we have on a lot of street corners, we have vendors who have a bunch of fresh fruit and they cut it up, they put it in a cup for you and they'll put Tajín on it. And when I moved from San Diego to Virginia,
Did y'all have that in Virginia?
No, it was one. No.
You're like, I'm moving back.
Yeah,
This is bullshit.
That and the quality of avocados was really hard for this like fucking California hoe to like deal with in Virginia. I was just like, guys, you eat apples all the time? That's it? Ugh. Like it was rough. But I really missed the fruit vendors like quite a bit. Now I'm hungry and that was our food history.
Well, just in time for Labor Day, I have a food recall.
Have you brought any fruits or vegetables onto the planet?
Welcome to Recall.
Get ready for a surprise.
So this Labor Day, if you're going to be cooking any hot dogs or hamburgers, you might want to check the buns that you're using because the FDA just announced a recall
Wah, wah.
for Hostess buns, which I thought they were like, they did like candies and
Like
and-
Twinkies.
Yeah.
I didn't know they made anything that, well, I mean, these must have a buttload of sugar in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising, but like,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you have Hostess hot dog or hamburger buns, toss them.
So what
Because
is it milk? Is it
it is listeria and salmonella contamination.
Listeria.
There you go. We need a sound bit for that. We need to hire a professional voice actor to do that.
Excuse you. I used to do the voice announcements
Hey.
at the grocery store.
I'm trying to. Attention, all shoppers.
Attention all shoppers. Whole Foods Market will be closing in the next 10 minutes.
Pretty good.
Thank you so much.
It's pretty good. But yeah, so they have listeria and salmonella contamination. There have been no reported illnesses thus far. But like I said, if you are grilling this Labor Day, just make sure that your buns are not Hostess.
Where the
because-
fuck is salmonella coming on already baked
I
buns?
don't know. And it didn't even say how they caught it, which I assume was probably like a routine inspection. If no one's been poisoned yet,
Yeah.
it's usually one of the FSIS, food safety inspector people that catch it. So and
And there's only like 7 of them. So imagine
'cause
what
they-
they're not catching, y'all.
because they had to in
Get
the
fired.
last administration cut it down way too much.
So you get food poisoning, salmonella or listeria, and you have to deal with these symptoms during a fucking global pandemic.
So this Labor Day, if you're not hurting yourself climbing milk crates, avoid Hostess buns, and you can avoid the side of food poisoning, because I think right now would be a terrible time to wind up in a hospital.
What if you went
with
there for
Delta
your
cases up?
with your milk crate or your milk crate injuries, and then you come
You're like-
down with listeria.
You're like, oh, I'm a hot girl. I was just trying to drink dairy. What happened? I just wanted whole milk.
Grub Street.
Yeah. I just wanted whole milk in my latte. And then I climbed these milk crates and I broke my arm. And then I ate some hot dog buns. This is the worst weekend ever. It's a bad Labor Day to be a hot girl.
Yeah, I mean, the end of summer is always a rough time for hot girls.
Yeah, but listeria and salmonella both have flu-like symptoms, so that would be unadvisable.
It's so crazy.
To be consuming Hostess hot dog and hamburger buns right now.
It's so crazy.
But in other news, speaking of hot dogs, a lot of people were tweeting about the hot dog half-life. You sent this to me before I saw it. So last week, researchers at the University of Michigan School of Public Health published some findings of dietary risk components and harmful effects of certain foods. All that is to say that they essentially looked at I think it's 5,000 of the most commonly consumed American food products.
Oh no.
And they wanted, I was like, I couldn't name 1,000, like 5,000, like Jesus. But they wanted to look at not just the dietary impact, but also the environmental impact of consuming these foods. And
so they just wanted to create a bad news report.
I mean, like the results, like they're not really that surprising.
Okay.
Like I kind of got into the weeds on the research, but like there's just a few points that I pulled out of I want to talk about. The one that was getting circulated the most is that they found if you eat one hot dog with a bun, that shaves roughly 36 minutes off of your life. So
is it worth it?
And I'm not saying, dude, look, I smoked cigarettes for almost a decade. And I do enjoy a glass of Ripple.
I mean, I've had a hot dog before.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't do things that we all know are going to shave time off of the end of our lives.
I mean, I live in LA.
But like
I'm just soaking in pollution.
On the tier of things that you're going to do that are shortening your life, I don't think that a hot dog is like, I don't know.
Make it worth it.
Yeah, first bite of a hot dog is kind of like the best bite, and it's all downhill from there. Like you know, it's not. They're not like you don't have two hot dogs and think
like I'm like going back thinking about the best hot dog I've ever had in my life, and honestly,
name like I can name meals I've had in restaurants or like a really like before I was plant-based that I was like, damn, that was a good steak or like something,
yeah,
you know,
or a
but
good
like
burger or like the best lasagna.
But all
Stouffer's
all the
frozen.
hot dogs. All the hot dogs I've consumed in my life, and I don't think any of y'all could say the same. That like I don't fucking remember them.
Yeah,
and you're shaving half an hour off.
I mean, for some people, there's the nostalgia of like the game dog when
Right.
you go to like a ball game. I'll give you that, but that's just a location-based deliciousness.
Yeah, so it says one hot dog with a bun.
What kind of hot dog?
Beef hot dog. So turkey, I guess, is not as detrimental, but
well, it's always been red meat, and then it's the nitrates, the way they process these meats.
It's so heavily processed.
Yeah.
Like how do we don't? I know we're talking about hot dogs, but let's talk about the fucking vaccine for a second, okay? I don't want to hear a motherfucker say that they don't know what's in the vaccine,
and y'all eat hot
and
dogs.
you're eating a fucking hot dog. What's in a hot dog?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Mm.
You don't know how your car works. You get in it every day. You lock yourself in a steel cage with a 20-gallon tank of combustible fuel sitting underneath you, and you go 70 miles an hour. You don't know how any of that fucking shit works. Get the vaccine anyways.
Remember when I got into it with that girl who said she didn't believe in science?
Oh,
At that party?
Yeah.
This was years ago, guys.
Get into it. So we got time.
And I was like, I tried to be nice because it was like the date of one of your guy friends at the time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a long podcast this week, y'all. Strap in.
And she was just, you know, as she got drunker, she got like, she just said dumber and dumber shit. And
Sure,
then she
but,
started
you know-
talking about how she didn't believe in science and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. But like, you take birth control, right? And she's like, oh yeah. And I was like, okay, y'all, that's science. Like, you have a smartphone, fucking science. You got in a car, science. You're drinking alcohol. That's science. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The microchip conspiracy theory.
And
You got a cell phone, you got a Facebook account, you
And
got an
you're
Instagram.
paying them.
You're geotagging where the fuck you are.
like, yeah, they don't need
Stop
to.
that. It's dumb. Yeah. But yeah, that was I'm not gonna say his name. That was a good buddy of mine. It was
Yeah.
his date for the night. And yeah, you were very kind
At the
about
beginning.
how you did it in the
Yeah,
beginning. But as her bullshit reasoning went on, he started to jump in.
He turned.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was
She
gonna be a
went,
little.
I think she went home alone, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he smashed that night.
Nah. He was like, Michelle has made it abundantly obvious.
He might have. I don't know. I'll send him a text after the
But
show.
anyway, yeah. So.
But yeah, so what were we talking about? Hot dogs. Oh, hang on. I want to get back to So that hot dog news was like obviously the headline grabber.
For
Everyone's
sure.
like, oh, a hot dog like shaves, one episode of Seinfeld off of my life. Like, fine, whatever. There's a few other points. So eating 85 grams of chicken wings, which are a very popular American food. And if
How many is-
you don't know what 85 grams is, because I had to look it up, it's roughly like 3 or 4 wings, depending on the size.
A very reserved amount of wings. Like, that's
No
not,
one's eating 3 or 4 wings.
that's like if you have to split it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's shaving 3.3 minutes off your life every 3 to 4 chicken wings that y'all eat. And I don't think that I've ever seen anybody in one sitting eat less than like a dozen wings.
Yeah.
Do they sell? They probably sell like a half dozen, huh?
I mean, maybe, but as like an appetizer, there's probably like a half order and a full order, where a half order is 6.
Yeah.
Or like a child's wing basket.
Are y'all
Do childs eat?
Are y'all-
Do children eat wings?
are y'all feeding your children fucking chicken wings? Are you taking your kid to fucking BW3s?
Oh, absolutely. Come on, it's their weekend with the kid. They're like, I don't know what to do, but me and the boys. We're going.
I didn't even get into it, but somebody tried to convince me that they were eating healthier because they were like, we're just eating more chicken wings without the sauce. And I was like, that's not what gets you. It's
Well-
not, it's the,
Yeah.
no one's getting fat on sauce.
Well, I mean, you could get fat on sauce, but like, really, of all the problematic foods to choose, and then to
It's-
make worse.
It's fucking fried chicken.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Anyways, one other thing that stood out to me, which no one fucking talked about, is that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, weirdly enough, add 33 minutes to your life. So they worked on this spectrum for the foods that on one end of the spectrum, the max was shaving 74 minutes off your life. And
What was
the high
that?
end- No. These are the parameters.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing that, you don't have anything that goes all the way in the spectrum, but you have to set those parameters. So that was one end. And then the other end was adding 80 minutes to your life.
So if you want to fool your body, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, full slices of bread, fold it this way,
and then drop a hot dog
then
in
just
it.
drop a dog right in there. The body won't know. Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, hot dogs and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches is kind of like cancel each other
Yeah,
out.
so you're
like,
basically,
you're fine.
yeah,
You're
it's
fine.
totally,
keep wolfing down
Net
those
zero.
hot dogs. Yeah. So the report goes on to say foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, whole grains, legumes, and some seafood not only ranked in higher nutritional value, but higher sustainability. So they have less of a carbon footprint going from growing to the consumer to packaging and all that. Whereas processed meats, beef, pork, lamb, and dairy products had a much higher environmental impact and a lower nutritional value. And there was a middle ground that was like
the
poultry.
rare lose-lose.
Yeah. It was poultry, egg products, and some dairy and some seafood. So there's like, I don't know. I have strong feelings about seafood. I'm not going to get into it, but
They haven't heard it.
But yeah, I don't think that this news came as a surprise really to anybody. Certainly not me, but the headline with the hot dog shaving 30 minutes off your life
That journalists earn their money in clicks for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And they ended the article. There was one other thing. So the researchers also found that if consumers switched just 10% of their daily caloric intake, that's usually reserved for meat or processed foods, and they switch that with eating fruit or veggies or grains or legumes, that would add 40 minutes of life every day and reduce your consumer carbon footprint by 33%. So not only are you adding almost an hour to your life every day, so after 24 days, you get a whole new day. But look, again, I'm not telling y'all what to eat. This is just information. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, like I'm sure
I'm the one telling y'all what to eat.
So do what you want. Have that hot dog, just like put it in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich taco, kind of, and then they just negate each other. So eat whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
But if I can encourage you to not eat something, it would be anything from Nabisco right now.
Oh, we adding Nabisco to our
Enemies
enemy of the pod.
Yes. So 2 weeks ago, the workers at the Nabisco bakery in Portland, Oregon went on strike, 200 people, after failing to negotiate a deal with their parent company, Mondelez International, who bought Nabisco from Kraft, I think in like 2012. Okay, so workers at the Richmond, Virginia bakery and then the call center in Colorado followed suit, walking off the job. And
fuck yeah, solidarity.
Yes,
Love to see it.
And then just this week, all of the workers at the bakery in Chicago walked off the job. And that is the biggest bakery in the world.
Good.
Yeah. There, workers are routinely forced to work forced overtime, just like Frito-Lay. 80-hour weeks are common. And they had massive layoffs in 2016, but like haven't reduced output at all.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's fucked up.
I'd fucking walk out too.
So the reason the workers are striking is obviously because of this work time issue. Mondelez plans to remove overtime and weekend pay for employees instead of opting for an alternative work week, is what they're calling it. And they took away pension plans in 2016 and replaced it with a 401k, and workers want their pensions back. So they want like just what they had before.
Right. Yeah.
That's all they want. Currently, Mondelez pays 1.5 the standard rate of hours worked beyond an 8-hour shift, then 1.5 on Saturday and double time on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty standard.
Right.
And they want to get rid of all of that.
I feel like that violates labor laws. Like you have to pay overtime. I mean, again,
but it's how you construct
the work week.
Yeah, and it's like where they're headquartered and all of these things. And we've really watered down our labor laws in this country. It's like when I worked for Whole Foods, they would work you right under what it was to be full time, so they didn't have to give you any insurance, like to the 30-minute mark. You know, like companies are always trying to fuck you over. Quote, "We're not on strike to secure huge gains. We're on strike to keep what we've already got," Cameron Taylor, a spokesperson on behalf of the Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers, and Grain Millers Union, Local 364, which is representing the strike workers in Portland. Quote, "The job they want to give us wouldn't even be worth fighting for."
Jesus.
Strong words.
They're not even striking because they like are making demands. They're just like, don't take away. Like, we're already barely showing up. Like, you barely have all of us here doing the bare minimum.
Well, yeah, and it's exactly what's going on at Frito-Lay, where they're just like, oh, people need these jobs. Like, we're going to exploit the fuck out of them. Mike Burlingham, a 14-year Nabisco employee and vice president of the union in Oregon, said of the plan, quote, "My longest stretch without a single day off was 5 weeks, and it's way worse for other people."
Jesus fucking
because
Christ.
he has seniority.
Right.
Their whole thing is to remove paying out premiums. It's all about money. If you guys have never worked, like, you probably like, how could that be possible? Like, how does this work out? Like, they will fuck with your schedule. Like, they don't give a shit. No day matters to the next day. It also happened at the grocery store where, you know, we weren't union and you would work clopins constantly. So you're there till midnight. You have to be back at 5:30, 6 a.m. There's no reason for it. There's plenty of people on this fucking calendar. Like,
for those of you who are fortunate enough to not know what a clopen is. Clopen. Close and open.
Yeah. It's the worst. And if you're like, oh, it's Nabisco, they must be on hard times, right? Like, there must. Okay, so
I'm sure they're seeing record profits.
Yeah, so Nabisco makes Chips Ahoy, Belvita, which currently has the most annoying commercials on Hulu.
Sound like a digestive cracker or something?
It's like Belvita biscuit. Yeah. Belvita biscuit. Like they just say the name of the brand over and over again. They make Oreos, Ritz crackers, Teddy Grahams, Triscuits, Fig Newtons, Nutter Butters, Wheat Thins, to name a few. Their revenue actually rose 2.8% to $26.6 billion.
So they turned a profit.
A huge profit.
During the pandemic when everyone else was struggling. And now they want to take away employees'
overtime for
bare
hours
minimum
they're working.
benefits. Yeah, their overtime, which is time and a half and double time on weekends, and their pensions. So fuck Nabisco.
So Nabisco's parent company, like I said, Mondelez International, in the second quarter of 2021 reported more than $5.5 billion in profits. That is in the second quarter when they started doing all this fucking shit. And they spent $1.5 billion on stock buybacks in the first half of 2021.
If we're doing any sort of like antitrust like reform or anything like that, buybacks has to be part of that.
Yeah.
Like that is, so when we bailed out the airlines, the first thing that the airlines did was stock buybacks. When we bailed out the banks, that was the first thing that they did was buybacks. And it's so that they can control more of the company, pay people less. Every time we bail these motherfuckers out, the first thing that they do, whether it's the banks or it's the airlines,
they make themselves more insular.
Yeah, they go for buybacks immediately. And I do think that if we are doing any sort of antitrust in this country, which we should be doing,
yes,
buybacks have to be part of that.
The CEO of Mondelez International received $16.8 million in total compensation in 2020 during a pandemic. That's 544 times the company's median employee annual compensation, which is $31,000.
Damn.
For fucking shame on this company. So if you guys cannot purchase these brands and support our strike workers, don't be a fucking scab. Don't buy this shit and think it doesn't matter. It does fucking matter. We need to stand with workers in this country. Like, I'm so fucking sick of companies thinking that they have all the power and that they can treat us like we're disposable. You don't have a company if we don't buy your goods and we don't work for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane how workers have to strike for literally just the bare minimum.
I mean, that's why we have a minimum wage, is because people strike.
Just because people, they were striking for it. And like, this is why unions are important. And you're right, we do have to stand with the people who are striking. Did you see that Danny Devito tweet?
Yes.
Danny Devito tweeted in support of the Nabisco strike, and Twitter fucking unverified him. Isn't that crazy?
That is how powerful we are as people. Like, as a collective, there's nothing that these billionaires and these billion-dollar corporations fear more than class consciousness. If workers unite and recognize ourselves like as similar across all these different lines, if we get together, we're gonna get what we fucking want.
Unrelated to your story, but like also in the news, and not a lot of people are reporting on it because they, for obvious reasons, but Kimball Musk, you familiar with Kimball? That's Elon's brother.
It sounds like a disease, like you get if you wear your boat shoes for too long.
You get Kimball Musk. Yeah, he's about to be in hot shit for union busing. He owns a nonprofit called Big Green, which is meant to help build vegetable gardens for like underfunded schools and communities.
Okay.
Like the cause is like very noble. But when the employees of Big Green started organizing a union, they were told that they were not allowed to communicate with fellow employees or to the media regarding any union efforts, which
that's illegal.
Is fucking illegal to do that. And 7 petitions from Big Green employees have been filed with the National Labor Relations Board since then. And if y'all are not familiar with Kimball, he is also a billionaire and a restaurateur. He loves to cosplay as a cowboy. You will never see him without a hat. And he trained at the French Culinary Institute in the late 90s. And after he was done with that, he acquired and expanded this restaurant chain in Colorado called Next Door, not to be confused with the app Next Door.
And the fire Twitter account, Best of Next Door. Give it a follow.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious.
So Kimball is a self-proclaimed philanthropist. And he told the employees of the restaurant Next Door that they were family.
Watch
And
out, like the Manson family.
Anytime an employer calls you family, just wait.
Oh, you're gonna fuck me just like my family did.
Like, I don't get along with my family. That's a red flag. So, but so much so that they set up a shared account, like a fund that they called the Family Fund, where $2.50 was deducted from every employee's paycheck. Which, if you work,
So like a slush fund for when somebody got into trouble.
yeah, it was for employees that they have a moment of crisis, if they can't pay healthcare bills or anything like that. This was supposed to help their fellow employees. And when COVID-19 hit, surprise, surprise, Kimball laid off hundreds of employees without any notice, and the Family Fund was not there for the employees.
Daddy took it.
Yeah.
Just like your college fund.
So former employees and managers have been speaking out against Kimball's treatment since shuttering the restaurants without employee compensation. And one manager said that Kimball's branding of sustainability and caring was just that. It's just branding.
Well, and I mean, the Musks, they come from really fucked up money.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not going to get into the emerald mines and apartheid Africa, but like y'all can Google it. Like, I'm not, there's a lot of back and forth. There is a lot of people saying a lot of things that's backed up by evidence. And then you have the Musks who are defending themselves, as they're entitled to do, because we all know that sometimes media outlets hype things up more than they should. So I'm sure the truth probably falls somewhere in the middle.
But at the very least, they made their fortune off of impoverished workers, exploiting impoverished workers.
Correct. Yeah,
in apartheid South Africa.
That is how the Musk family made their fortune.
Yeah.
So Kimball Musk is defending the family fund, saying that it was only meant for employees during times of crisis and not meant for the pandemic, which I don't know what would you call that? I'd call it a pretty big fucking crisis.
Yeah.
He went on to explain that they had granted 21 employees $400 and that they're trying to work with other former employees moving forward. So just a real quick number crunch, if you're listening, that's $8,400. Kimball is very, very...
Okay, like you covered one family of four shopping trip to the fucking grocery store.
Yeah,
maybe.
Hey, Colorado is not a cheap place to live. Kimball has always been very dodgy about the family wealth and his own personal wealth, but a quick public record search shows that he owns 12,000 shares, well, more than 12,000, but let's just round it down, 12,000 shares of Tesla stock, which is estimated to be $390 million. He gave his employees their own money back, which was $8,400.
Their own money back.
That's all it was.
I know.
And like the thing that sucks, like when I was reading this, and like I'll get off it in a second. We were just talking about unions, and this is kind of topical, but like, I've worked in a restaurant, and so taking $2.50 out of somebody's paycheck, you're essentially taking an hour out of their paycheck because you work for tips. Yeah. You're paid by the state. I think it's like $2.40 something cents.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it varies by state.
Yeah, every state's different. But so if you're a restaurant worker, you're getting one of your hours taken out of your paycheck for a family fund that you then don't have access to. And what's the $400 cap?
Yeah.
Who sets that?
Yeah, you, Kimball. At Whole Foods, you could donate your PTO hours to a fund.
Pay time off.
Pay time off.
People who are lucky enough to have never learned what PTO means.
Yeah, because you didn't have sick time, you didn't have vacation time, you had PTO. And you donated it to employees in need, but you had to get the store's permission to like donate it to a thing. And he was acting like it's like, this is what we have to do for everyone. Not that the store could just fucking pay them. But anyway.
A store that has only ever made
a shit ton of money.
Profits. Yeah. And
And his brother's shady with unions too, though, right?
Yeah, SpaceX is incredibly like anti-union. So is Tesla. But so next door is a chain of restaurants, but that is one brand under 15 other restaurants that Kimball owns under his umbrella core, which is the Kitchen Restaurant Group. So
wow, he really brainstormed on that name for a while.
Yeah. Call us, Kimball. Pay us more than $8,400. Maybe we'll come up with a better name for you. But yeah, like you were saying, just like his brother Elon, they're both very anti-union. And I think it was in 2018, I don't have it pulled up, but Elon tweeted about it was an anti-union about Tesla employees trying to unionize, and he tweeted about it. And not only was that breaking labor laws, but a federal fucking judge told him to delete it.
How embarrassing.
And he did.
How embarrassing.
He had to. But yeah, the Musk brothers, not really surprising that they're anti-union considering they've never had a job.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, like I don't consider what they do jobs.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they do work, no doubt. They definitely do work.
There's a difference between a job and like a career. Like nothing would make me more upset when, again, I was working at the grocery store, you know, and friends are like sending emails and like doing all this stuff all day and they're on their Facebook or they're on whatever. I was like, that's not a job. Like a job is when your time belongs to someone else so much that you don't get to lunch. You can't check your phone. You can get fired for like putting on chapstick. I couldn't have water at the check stand.
Uniform,
name tag.
hair, makeup, like your appearance belongs to your employer.
Yeah, name tags.
Yeah.
Like the whole fucking thing where you're just micromanaged on a level that would make Elon Musk and his brother cry.
They couldn't do it. There's no way.
What about my freedom?
Yeah. They've only ever had money. And it does not surprise me that they are so incredibly anti-union. I mean, Elon said in 2020, because he got tired of answering questions about where they get Tesla batteries from.
Do you know
what? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I was like, do you know who's really tired? The children mining the cobalt
That's
that
it.
goes into your Tesla batteries.
That's what it is. Yeah, so Tesla batteries use precious mineral cobalt, which they have to mine, and it's very dangerous and labor intensive. And they get this out of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And through a series of different companies. So it's not like Elon is signing invoices to the fucking DRC that he's, hiring child workers to get cobalt. But
he also knows.
Yeah, he knows, and he also doesn't care, but he got tired of answering questions about it.
About these, what do they call them?
They're called blood batteries. In the same way that like blood diamonds, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
So these cobalt mines, they have child labor in them. Anyways, like, it's not surprising. It's not shocking. They made their fortune on the backs of other people doing hard labor.
Yeah, so he said he was going to stop making those batteries, right?
They haven't stopped yet.
Yeah.
And they also haven't given a date when they're going to stop. So if you're buying a Tesla right now and you have cobalt in your batteries.
It's also on a lot of cell phones, though, to be fair.
But yeah, he said that they're going to stop cobalt mining, and that's going to reduce the cost of the batteries so that it'll make Tesla cars more affordable. So I don't know. I commend him for that. Again, I try to play like, one extreme, another extreme. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Like,
I'll commend him when he does it.
Yeah, they haven't done it yet. They haven't given a date when they're going to stop doing it. But like, this is why the fuck unions are important, is that they have to protect workers from their employers, because the employers do not give a shit.
They will take your pension. They will take your weekends. They will take your whole life. And then they will make you thank them.
Yeah, you and I have both had jobs where we were not in unions.
Yes.
They had long hours, unpredictable schedules, and
exploitive work practices.
Very exploitive, and no health insurance. Like, I did dangerous jobs, like where I could have very easily fallen off scaffolding, or someone could have hit me with some equipment. No fucking health insurance. This is why the fuck unions are important.
I understand, there's been a really good anti-union campaign going on in this country for the last 50 years, just smearing them as like just money grubbing. They just take money out of your paycheck and they don't help you and blah, 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 blah.
That's essentially the tweet that he sent out that he had to delete. It was like, he's like, unions just collect dues. They don't help you.
Yeah.
And he had to delete it.
Yeah. You mean like the family fund your brother runs? Like the anti-union rhetoric should show you how powerful unions are because they wouldn't be talking shit about something they weren't afraid.
If it didn't impact them, they'd be like, yeah, go join a union. Who gives a shit? I don't care. Like,
so if you are not in a unionized workplace and you're getting a little irritated, fucking think. Regular people can start a union. There are tons of resources. It's never been easier to get your hands on information on how to start a union in your workplace. And you might already be, covered under an umbrella organization that you can get one of their union organizers to come and to help you out. So don't be afraid to take that next step. That's how change gets made, by regular people.
Yeah. Do it before they make it illegal because that's what's coming. And then we're going to have to get back to the days where everyone's like, we will burn this factory to the ground if we don't get a 40-hour work week.
I'll tell you what, that Nabisco fire would smell delicious. But Matt, what have we learned today?
Michelle, we learned that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches cancel out hot dogs.
All
so
right.
you can just eat them both at the same time. Doesn't matter.
We learned that Oreos hate workers' rights and a standard of living.
That's why I don't buy Oreos. I get Newman's Own.
Just get Newman's Own.
Newman's Own.
Yeah.
It's a great company.
What else have we learned?
We learned that hot girls are liars.
Yeah, there's literally, they didn't even poll
East
a hot
Coast hot girls.
They didn't even poll a hot girl.
Self-declared hot girls.
One tweet. We also learned that rich boys hate unions.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Yeah.
But that is our show this week. Shout out to our producer, Caitlin Cleveland, who makes sure that this podcast is in y'all's feed and available for y'all to watch every Friday.
And shout out to the audience, guys. Thank you for slowly migrating over to YouTube. If you haven't already, go ahead and check it out. Again, Sparkly Dress. Smash that subscribe button. We want some comments. We want to hear what you guys are doing. Has anyone eaten a hot dog inside of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I need to know.
Go to YouTube, search Bad Manners Food, smash that motherfucking like and subscribe button, and you'll get alerts when we add new content. We got a lot more than podcasts in the works right now. And if you want to be the first to know, smash that like and subscribe button.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram at Bad Manners Food. All of our recipes, including our late summer nectarine pasta and our strawberry rosé pancakes, are up on the website, which is badmanners.com.
But that is our show for the week. So stay hungry, keep cooking, and we will see y'all next week.
Bye.